familia y amigos. Welcome to another episode of Teachable Moments with Jay El Maestro. This is episode number 2. I'm super excited because today I have the honor and privilege to interview a family friend of mine, Alicea. He's here with us today. I can't wait for you to hear his story, and I'm sure you're going to walk away with learning a lot from what he has to share today. So with that, let me turn it over to my good friend, Alicea.
Yo, don't limit your identity.
All right. You heard him, folks. So I appreciate you jumping on right away and letting our audience know to not limit their identity.
Definitely.
With that, Alicea, I'm excited. Brother, that you're here today. We always like to start with just kind of sharing a little bit about yourself, right?
Okay.
I'm going to let the audience know that Alicea is someone that is definitely special to me because I've had the privilege of going to elementary school with Alicea's father, Daniel Maldonado. Then crazy story is that his stepfather and I, Angelo, as well, we went to high school together. So I've had the pleasure of knowing two, I would say, is it fair to say, two important men in your life?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. With Alicea, so go ahead, take it away. Share a little bit about yourself with our audience of who you are, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
Okay. So I'm a barber.
All right.
Just started cosmetology school. So I'm doing women's hair too as well. And I live Belmont Craig and Leroy Ave. Shout out Leroy Ave.
All right.
Shout out them. But yeah, I'm a barber and I'm going to church now.
Amen.
A couple weeks ago I just got saved, so
congratulations, brother.
It's a good thing. But yeah, just young, learning and growing.
Love that, man. Well, number one, praise the Lord that you've got saved and you're attending church and seeking God. And I also want to give a shout out to Leroy Silva and Leroy Avenue Barbers. You guys are amazing. You always create a wonderful experience when anyone walks in. And you definitely, as I believe Leroy would say, you're changing lives, right?
Yeah.
So now you mentioned that you're a barber, you're attending cosmetology school. Mm-hmm. Where were you raised and what was your upbringing like?
So I pretty much was raised all over Chicago, I would like to say, but mostly Logan Square, Humboldt Park, and I'll say Belmont Craig a little bit, the tail end of my teens. But yeah, everything, very family oriented and just, doing my thing,
All right.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to consider looking at barber and cosmetology to make that a career path for you?
So it was when I had came back from Arizona. I wasn't really doing much, trying to do different things and try to find what made me happy. So I was at the barbershop one day and I was talking with Jordan.
Okay.
And he was asking me like what are you going to do with your life? Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, man, like, I kind of want to cut hair. Mm. And from that point on, it was just like, it just started coming in. And I just went in and I legit acted like his schedule was my schedule. Like, I was already a barber.
Okay.
Just because, like, I wanted to know, like, that feeling. I wanted to be as passionate about something like he was too, so.
Okay. So that's good. So Jordan was
my teacher, yeah.
Your mentor, your teacher.
Say, yeah.
All right. Well, kudos to Jordan. Thank you, Jordan, for taking him under your wings and being able to show him the ropes, show him what it is to master that craft of changing someone's life when it comes to cutting hair.
Yeah, big shout out to Jordan. But shout out to everybody in the barbershop. Shout out Leroy, too, for giving me my chair. And shout out Jeremy. Shout out Trey. Shout out Anthony. Shout out Raph. Alejo, too. Everybody.
Awesome. A lot of love and a lot of support for them. Prior to that, what did cross your mind? Was barber number one on your list, or did you have something else in mind that, or like any young adult, right? I mean, I know thinking back when I was in high school in my senior year, I didn't know what I was going to do, right?
Yeah.
I ended up attending a junior college just to get the general courses out the way. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was my cousin, Victoria Marrero, who I give a lot of love and support to, because she the same question Jordan asked you, she asked me, what are you looking to do?
Yeah.
And at that very given moment, I didn't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided to. So she's like, I'm in banking. Why don't you consider getting into banking? And my immediate response was like, I'm horrible in math. This is something
Yeah.
that I can't do.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what? Believe it or not, we have the tools and the systems to help you. So if you like, give it a chance and see what you think. So I took her words of advice and I decided to give it a chance and started off as a part-time teller, loved it, and made it a career for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from there, worked my way up to management, did management for several years, and then got into mortgage lending. And as where I'm at today, now an insurance agent, owning an American family insurance agency out here in Elgin.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a moment where you find yourself kind of struggling, like what direction do I want to go?
Yeah.
And even at one point, I was sharing with you prior to us starting this interview that I used to cut some of my friends in the neighborhood and cut their hair, and I thought about pursuing it, but held back. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely look at cutting hair as a form of art,
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah.
So with that, going back to that question, was there something else you had in mind, or were you at a stage of like, hey, this is what I like, or if you don't mind sharing a little bit more around
So,
that?
so how it was for me, I've always had from like 18. So at 18, I started with FedEx,
Okay.
and I was basically from that point on, I was in, like career field jobs, like big jobs. And I was seeing like, like I was working with older men. So they were like, giving me advice and everything. And some like, it always stuck to like in my head that I wanted to work for myself,
Okay.
but I wanted to like work for myself, but make people happy doing whatever I did, just
Okay.
like make people happy. And so barbering or cutting hair, it never really crossed my mind until I came back and started going to the barbershop again.
Okay.
And like I was just like I spent more time in there because so I lived at the time when I came back, I lived in Westchester and the barbershop's in Belmont Cragen. So, that's a little drive. So I would just like to, like not go back and forth so quick. I would just spend some time there and chill. So, I got a feeling of what the ambiance was, and just like you're chilling, you're with the guys, and I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what got me interested. I would say, yeah.
Okay.
That's how I got, yeah.
So you touched on that. You started off learning with the mentorship of Jordan, and
Hmm.
you gave a shout out to a few of the other barbers. I'm sure they share their wisdom with you.
Oh yeah,
And along with that, now you're going to cosmetology school.
yeah.
So you shared that you're also working on women's hair.
Hmm.
What made you make that decision as well?
So I wanted to get my license to become legit. So I just decided to go to Chicoche and get a license, but I didn't want to go for barbering because I was already doing it already. So I was already cutting hair, so I didn't want to like. It's not waste time, but I didn't want to relearn what I already knew. So I decided just to like pick up a new craft in that field and learn color, learn women's hair, learn how to braid, all that. Just make myself versatile.
Okay. So once you complete that, you're looking to still implement both barber
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also working at women's hair and so on.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Is there
100%.
anyone that kind of helped inspire that as well?
Big shout out to my mom.
All right.
Yeah, Salve Salon. It's not up, but you know, yeah. But my mom, yeah, she was a big inspiration for me and a big role model. Even growing up, there was a point where when she had Salve Salon, there was a barber in there, and it was pretty cool because it's like I'll be chilling there because it's my mom's salon. So, but just seeing like him cutting hair and then my mom cutting hair, it was like cool, and like seeing my mom like being so passionate about something that inspired me every day I seen it.
Awesome.
So yeah, big shout out to my mom.
So you've definitely been in that space.
Hmm.
Is it since a child or
Yeah, since a child.
So, seeing that, seeing how it helped your mom, seeing that those that you put yourself in that environment as well.
Hmm.
You mentioned that you were prone to listening to those that were a little bit older than you and
Yeah,
sharing that wisdom.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, what made you feel that, hey, you know what, they're sharing that? Because, right, I'm the oldest of four,
Hmm.
and I'm also a father. I have three, and
Yeah,
sometimes I try to pour into the youth, but some youth don't,
yeah. They don't receive it.
yeah, they don't receive it. It comes
Yeah,
across like they're not, like it's going through one ear and out the other.
yeah,
But you shared that was different for you. You were
yeah,
intrigued to want to learn more and hear why.
yeah. Um, I think for me it was just like, I think it stems to like, the way my mom raised me, to be honest, and I've always wanted to be successful in whatever I did. Like that's always been my thing. And I wanna always wanted to be like looked up to as a man, as a person, And I'm saying that in the most humble way, but yeah, because I wanna help people, I wanna inspire people. That's always been my thing.
Why would you say that that's important to you to be able to help people and inspire them?
Um, my mom just raised me like that. I remember when I was younger, we would go to like homeless shelters and pass out food for like around Thanksgiving, Christmas. And like she instilled in me like you gotta like help your community and be like show love and like just be a giving person pretty much.
Love that.
And yeah, and like I always had like my cousins around me. I just try to be a role model for them. So that's always been my thing.
I love that. I love that. Definitely, like what your mom shared with you and poured into you. That's something that I believe in. That's one of the main things about, don't limit your identity.
Hmm.
Is we also have that foundation, that nonprofit,
Yeah,
and the goal within that nonprofit is to give to the youth, to be able to pour into them the wisdom that I gained through my years of working in the financial industry space,
yeah,
along with my experience as an insurance agent, providing all types of programs to be able to help and inspire them
yeah.
like you.
Hmm.
And I love that. So kudos to your mom for being able to
Yeah,
pour that into you and teach you that, because that's so important. I
100%.
truly believe that those that give will receive blessings upon them, and
Yeah,
it's in the Bible,
yeah,
So I love that, and again, I'm excited to hear that you decided to uh, attend church and be able
yeah.
to receive that blessing and get baptized. Um, was there anyone that played a part with inviting you to church and help, or was that something that was also part of your upbringing as well?
So it was always pretty much in my upbringing. My mom she's really into church, and I was in high school, and I kind of like shied away from it a little bit,
Okay.
but growing older, going through life and stuff, I decided I wanted to find God and talk to Him and grow a relationship with Him. But I want to say Leroy definitely played a big factor in that. Jeremy did, and honestly Jordan did too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Love them. I love them.
yeah,
I've had the privilege and honor of knowing them, and I
hmm,
know they're also men of faith and men of God.
yeah,
And I always believe in iron sharpens iron, and it
yeah,
sounds that's what's exactly
100%.
what's
Yeah,
taking place.
yeah,
That's one of the things that I find that kind of separates Leroy Avenue
hmm,
Barbershop is like Leroy takes the time to share the gospel and invite others. Yeah, there's been times where he's invited me to just come over for prayer and Bible
hmm,
study, and I love
yeah.
that. And putting yourself in an environment with men that are like that, I think it's very helpful as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now you talked about your mom, and I shared with the viewers how I know your father and
Yeah,
your uncle, and amazing man. I mean, a
of
true
course. Yeah.
blessing. I mean, we used to hang out growing up in elementary school and things like that. How do they play a part in your life as well?
Um. So they well. So all right. So I'm gonna go back to when we were talking about like how I like became to like wanting to be inspiring to like everybody around me. My dad played a factor in that too. There was a point where he had a not for profit you lead as
Yes.
well. So that seeing him do that and help the kids, that played a big factor too. And that's why I am the way I am. But my uncle played a huge factor as well. Um, I don't know, he was just always there for me. He treated me like I was his son, and he always showed love and always looked for me, and yeah, so and always like try to talk to me, instill knowledge in me, and he always wanted to see me grow, and I really appreciate that. And then Twinkie,
Yeah.
Angelo Twinkie, um, he played a huge factor. Him just coming into my life, it was fifth grade. I was in fifth grade, and he came into my life with like I was his own, and it's more meaningful to me because he didn't have to do that.
Right.
So, but he treated me like I was his own, and I'll never take that away from him.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
also kudos to your father, to your uncle Jaime.
yeah,
Uh, we knew him as Jamie as well
mm,
in elementary school, and to Angelo, aka Twinkie,
yeah,
awesome man. He and I would hang out in high school as well,
yeah,
and it's crazy how life is and the way it turns around. But
yeah,
it sounds like you've had some great role models. I've even had the privilege of meeting your grandfather,
yeah.
awesome guy, which I believe instilled the entrepreneurial life within your mom and you and
Oh
so
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Anything you'd like to share about your experience with your grandpa?
Man, I have a lot of stories of my grandpa. Yeah, that did he did play a big factor in my wanting to work for myself. There was summers, so he was in the construction field,
Mhm.
and there was summers where I didn't go to summer camp, or I grew summer camp, and my mom would just send me and go work with him. So I was like his little helper,
Okay.
and it was cool. Like we would, have conversations while we are like building something. But a memory I would like to share that like is like engraved in me is one summer we put up a whole, it was like a 3-floor deck pretty much,
Okay.
and we had to take it down and put it back up again because the wood was rusted out or whatever. And I remember the first day we got there, I was like, dude, there's no way me and you could do this. In my head, I was like, bro, there's no way. And we ended up doing it. I don't remember how long it took us, but I remember doing it, and man, it came out amazing. And it was cool to say that I helped him do it. And after that, after we finished that deck, he bought us tickets to go to Puerto Rico, and I spent like a month out there with him,
All
and
right.
it was a pretty cool summer. That was yeah.
Tell me more about that experience in Puerto Rico.
Um that's the home. That's where that's paradise. But yeah. So it was just me and him, and it was just like we would just do like random things, just like I was like living there or something. We'd just go to the movies or like go to the beach. It was really fun. That was a fun time. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have experience of Puerto Rico too. My grandfather, may he rest in peace, Ramon Alicea,
Hmm.
also known as Papi Mino. He and I would, he would show me. I feel like he played a vital role in my life, instilling the entrepreneurial side too. He was always business minded, had a passion for business. But going to Puerto Rico, he loved animals. That was his thing.
Hmm.
So he would take me out there to see his cows and pigs and
Yeah.
horses and everything, and we would work out in the field and. Uh, Love the culture, like you said, it's paradise. Puerto Rico is
Yeah.
beautiful. Definitely need to make another trip soon. It's been a
Yeah.
while for me. When was the last time you've been out there?
Earlier this year, actually, in January.
Nice, very
Yeah.
nice.
But I need to go back.
Yeah.
Itching.
One of the things that I love is that you shared how you know everyone that played a role in your life into where you're at today, and now you're furthering your education to be able to do more than just only cutting men's hair. I believe that many of the youth today are in a situation where they're not quite sure what they want to do. They go to
Yeah.
college and they pursue a degree, and then maybe long term not actually be doing something that they went to school for. And sometimes I feel that it's not shared, like the alternative options outside of college, what trades people could look into.
Yeah.
And I look at, obviously barber,
Yeah.
cosmetology, and things like that. What can you share with someone that maybe has thought about going into that direction, but maybe has held back because they feel that maybe college is the best route?
Um, so I actually, so I have a story, and it's about a client that I had at school. So he was sitting in my chair, we're talking, whatever, and he went to college, whatever, for accounting, and he was like, man, like I don't like this, like the money's good, but it's like this is not what I want, and he was like, man, like, do you think it's a good idea to switch fields and like like take that risk pretty much and go back to college? He said he wanted to be a nurse
Okay.
or in that field. And he's 27 asking me, which is like that like meant the world to me because it's like, man, like, yes, let me help you. But so I was just like telling him like, man, like money isn't everything. For me, money isn't everything, and happiness or doing what you love is the most important thing in life. And that's what I've learned becoming a barber and in cosmetology school. Um, like when once you find a passion for something and you do what you really want to do, it doesn't even feel like work. And I feel like that's everybody's goal pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, you doing what you like when you find your purpose and your passion and you keep, you know, doing it, God is just gonna eventually bless you, you know.
Amen.
He's gonna feed you, you know. So I don't like to really think like switching fields is a bad thing, because if it's true to you, if you're true to yourself and that's what you want to do, I feel like there's blessings in it and they will unfold. And I could say that from experience.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So that's definitely key. For our viewers, as you heard Isaiah share, follow your heart, follow where you want to go. And if you have to make a change, it's okay.
Yeah.
Look at life as your own personal GPS. I mean, you may
Yeah.
fall off course, but maybe you need to reroute and pursue something else. Or you're heading the wrong direction and want to go somewhere, then go from there. But
Yeah.
with that, now that you're in this space and now that you've received that mentorship, what have you learned? Can you talk a little bit more about your journey as to where you're at today and from the beginning? As you mentioned, you started going to the shop, putting yourself in that space, putting yourself in
Yeah.
that environment. What have you learned? And was there anything that you didn't? I know that you were raised with your mom being in that space, but was there anything that you caught differently now that you're there and now that you're actually doing it?
Um 100%. Well, I learned even outside of cutting hair, you know, being around all the barbers, you know, they're all older than me. But like what they're thinking about is different from, well, they're all like in their 30s, 40s, around there. Um, but hearing them like and their like experiences and what they're focused on, that inspires me because it's like I'm young, but it's like I wanna get there, you know?
Yeah,
And like I wanna like think about my future like that, or like I wanna be established like that, you know? So I feel like that played a big part. I learned, well, I feel like I'm still learning because we learn every day, right?
oh
So
yeah.
how to be a better businessman. And I seen that from my mom growing up, but obviously doing it is different.
Mm.
Me taking it in my own hands. Yeah, how to be an entrepreneur is a big thing that I'm going through right now, and how to establish myself as a businessman, like I said.
What have you learned about the entrepreneurial side that maybe you didn't know about, and it kind of created like that I like to call aha moment? You're like, okay, now I know this.
Um, Definitely some financial things, you know. Because you know everything costs money. You got your blades, you got your this. You can't. It forces you to think differently because you know you gotta buy stuff. You gotta have your tools that you need
Okay.
to do your craft. And you know, coming up, I was just like, you know, I was a kid. I was blowing money, you know. So it definitely like shifted my perspective on how to spend money and use it wisely. You know, I gotta pay rent for my chair, so that's a big thing right now.
Yeah, it's definitely different once you're in the chair, right?
Yeah.
You're there. This is your space and inventory, right? The
Mhm.
equipment as you shared and what your the rent for the
Yeah.
space as well. So, would you say that has that created a different motivation for you? Does it
Yeah.
create like a certain fire that you're like, okay, if I don't do this, then I can't
Yeah.
get the tools I
Yeah.
need. I can't
Yeah.
pay the rent I need to pay.
Yeah. 100%. I feel like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be as hungry as I um am right now. But you know, money is not everything, obviously, like I said, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So that just lights a fire up so I could like be able to get better things or pay for my rent and not have a worry, and have some money to take away as well. So it gives you like this drive to, man, get this client, get this client, get this client. So and push your name out there. I started making videos recently, and that's pretty cool. So it's all about putting myself out there right now.
Perfect. What type of videos are you creating?
So I just started, so it's a like I would say like a time lapse video of me doing 3 haircuts,
Okay.
and I'm not an editor or anything, so don't don't
Mm.
don't talk, but I try, but yeah, so it's just like a little time lapse of 3 haircuts. That's
Okay.
it, with music on top of it.
Where would someone find those videos?
Instagram, 773 Zeta Stylist, Instagram.
Okay.
I'm there.
So you heard it from Isaiah. If you visit his Instagram page, you could see some of his clips out there. The best thing you're doing is just putting it out there,
Yeah,
right? I mean, someone may hold back because of what you said. I don't know how to edit,
yeah,
but you're creating that storyline to allow someone to be able to say, okay, why would I get a haircut from Isaiah?
yeah,
And now they have access to seeing what is it you did and your craft with
yeah.
it. What else would you like to share with our viewers, whether it be about your upbringing, your career, or anything for that matter? As we shared, this is Don't Limit Your Identity,
Hmm.
YouTube with Teachable Moments to be able to teach and share. And you've shared a lot, which is
Yeah.
great. But is there anything else that you'd like to kind of share?
I would like to share like stuff I'm doing right now. So, um, I'm trying to work on making my own clothing brand.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also I just been trying to, as I said, get closer to God. Helping that community in some certain way. The youth in church. And bringing other the outsiders in church. Showing them like this is the way. And I've been getting into poetry actually.
Really?
Yeah,
All
trying
right.
to get into poetry, and yeah, just trying to expand my horizons pretty
Okay.
much.
Tell me a little bit more about the clothing that you're trying to create.
So I want to mix like streetwear, like cargos, and I want to make shirts, and so the name is Where Angels Are Made,
Love that. Okay.
and the meaning behind that is well, for me personally, wherever I'm at, that's where my angels are gonna be.
Okay.
And wherever you're at in life, I feel like you could make it out of a dark stage, and like we're angels. And no matter where you are, you could always be pointed to the light, or God will help you. God will be there.
That's
So that's
inspiring, man.
yeah.
Has that clothing line started?
So I did a photo shoot for my birthday last year, and I made personal clothes, and I put it out there, and I got a lot of people wanting to buy them, but no, I haven't released anything yet, but I want to do white tees soon.
Okay. When is the launch date, or is there a timeline you have in mind? Or-
um I wanted to do probably spring around there because t-shirts so people could be outside. But yeah, probably spring, around spring.
Okay. And with the poetry, where are you going anywhere to do poetry, or is that more just on a personal
Just
level?
yeah, on a
Or,
personal level at home, just another way to release emotions, all that. So not a lot of people notice, but I used to do music.
okay.
Yeah, and so my senior year of high school, I wasn't really I kind of stopped with the sports, and I went to a place called After School Matters, and shout out to After School Matters because they helped me a lot, as a kid growing up, showing like it opened my mind to different things you could do.
Okay.
And so I started making music, and that was the way like I was getting a lot of my feelings out, instead of like trapping it all in, So yeah, I made music for a little while, and I did a lot of different things, to help me grow in some type of way. But yeah,
All right. I didn't know that, so
yeah,
that was a teachable moment for me.
yeah,
And I like that you shared that you found a way to be able to not hold things in,
yeah,
because I have found that there are many that do that, and all that does is just create more stress and could
yeah,
put you in that dark space,
yeah,
and you found a way to kind of let out,
yeah,
and you did that through music, and now you're doing that through poetry. So
yeah.
um is there any other ways that you think people can find ways to, aside from music and poetry, to kind of let out?
Yeah, just finding something you like doing, just a simple hobby, and getting lost in that in the best way possible. So like for instance, it could be even working out or going for walks every day or just doing things that aren't typically you don't do, but they make you feel better about yourself. I know I've heard like a lot of people talk about working out makes them feel better, to start the day, It just gives you like a good feeling to start the day. And I know there's a lot of creative kids out there, and I know they feel like they're trapped in a box because I used to feel the same way, being raised in a city, where things are kind of like, you're raised in a city or in a neighborhood and you feel like, man, this is the only place on earth, and um, just opening up your mind as a creative. And even if you're not in the art, I feel like reading is a big thing. But for the kids that are creative, and I salute them, and I push that, like, keep going, push your art out there, music, everything. I love that.
I appreciate that. You mentioned reading and just looking for other ways to just kind of get out there. So
Yeah,
that's important. That's definitely important, and that's something that I always encourage as well.
hmm
And things that I look at, and reading is one way for me. Um, and sometimes I tell people, hey, if it leads that even seeking an actual professional therapist, if you're holding something in, let it out,
yeah,
because you don't want that to continue to build up.
yeah, exactly.
Well, Isaiah, I've really enjoyed our time together. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you being able to share about your background, share a little bit about what is it you do, and um, who's played a vital role in your life. And
yeah,
I can see why you've become such a sharp young man. And I'm proud that you came out today to be my guest and
yeah, for
on
sure.
this second episode. And I'm looking forward to everyone being able to hear this
Yeah,
podcast and be able to take away what you shared. And I know that someone out there is going to be inspired, and you're doing that mission that you want to fulfill is definitely happening. So
yeah,
I encourage you to continue to do what you're doing and continue to inspire us out there. And man, thank you, bro. I'm excited for you on your journey with Christ and being baptized
yeah.
and being saved. And I know you're going to do a huge impact out there in the world. So
Thank
thank you.
you, thank you. Before we go, can I read one of my poems?
Absolutely.
All
Yeah, I
right,
would love
cool,
that. Yeah.
cool, cool, cool.
Nice surprise. Nice surprise. Even better. That's a great way
Yeah.
to finish this up. So uh,
So it's called
share it.
"Sitting in Your Garden of Orchids." All right. Sitting in our garden of orchids, it's dark, but the North Stars shine bright. I run, I run my fingers over the sepal of your orchids. I shut my eyes. Your echo, engraved in my heart, leads me to triumph. I've fallen, Let the orchids wilt. Time, attention, the orchids are reborn again, stamped with the letter G. I was once lost, never was taught how to treat an orchid properly. Reflection, knowledge, empathy, persistence, I've gained that in the product of my demise. I now stand reborn. The North Star beams on me as I sit in the garden of your orchids.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Any other surprises for us or
No,
no?
that's it.
No, that was great. I thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Familia y amigos, thank you again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed listening to the second episode of Teachable Moments with Jay El Maestro and my great friend Isaiah. I took away some things, and I hope you did as well. Remember, visit our website, www.don'tlimityouridenty.com. If you feel led, please feel free to donate. Our goal and our mission is to be able to empower the youth by leading with programs such as workforce development, financial literacy workshops, and looking for alternative options outside of college. How can we provide those programs? Is with your support. Thank you once again. Take care, and God bless.